So I am currently working on a review for Modern Warfare, but I decided to take a break from that, and I wanted to put out this video because recently they just showcased, well, Ubisoft just showcased their newest season, Shifting Tides, for Rainbow Six Siege. And this has actually been a game that I've been playing for years, but I've never made a video about it on the channel. So I thought, why the heck not? Why not put my thoughts out there about this game and why I've been playing it since 2017. Initially, my friend Peter was the one who was really into this game, and I believe he even got it on launch, and when things were a little bit janky and the vision of the game wasn't fully there, but he enjoyed his experience and recommended all of us to get it, all of us in our friend group to get the game. We never did. And it wasn't until like a year around that, like almost a year later around that change, where Peter picked up the game again and started playing it, and ended up convincing other friends in our group to end up getting the game, and then I ended up being one of those people who got convinced into doing it. And since then, I've never really put down Siege. I've taken breaks from it, definitely from time to time, but for the most part, I have constantly played Siege on a consistent basis for the last 2 going on 3 years now. Rainbow Six Siege is one of those games where, even though metas or like the way the game operates and the way that people play the game ends up getting a little stagnant with the release of each season, I think the real thing that keeps bringing me back to this game is just how it feels like there's a possibility that you can never play that round or that map the same way twice. Like, you can go in and you can play Skyscraper or you can play Oregon, and everyone knows the meta, but in the heat of that moment, anything can happen and anybody can end up making that one decision that completely turns the tide of the entire match or the entire round, the entire game, what have you. And it's exhilarating. It's absolutely exhilarating. And I think coming from a console player's perspective, and I've played a little bit on PC, but not that much. I've mostly stayed to PS4 while playing this game. You know, with them taking off aim assist that you normally get while playing on console, it's an incredible experience because you have that free aim, and it really drills in the fact that playing this game takes map knowledge, it takes gun skill that you can end up developing. And it's one of those games where you never, for the more casual players like myself, you never truly feel like you've mastered something fully. And to me, there's a fun in that. There's a fun in being able to come back to this game every single time that I do play and feeling like I want to work on something new. I want to learn a new strat. I want to work on a strat. I want to work on this new operator. And it's extremely rewarding, I'd say, is the number one thing about that game. It can be incredibly rewarding to keep playing that game and seeing the fruits of your labor come into fruition, just from whether it's plays that you get off because you knew the exact routes to take, or the exact map knowledge it took, or the exact flick of gun skill, whatever it took to get that win, and being a part of that is absolutely astounding. And the number one thing that I feel like I love the most about it is definitely the team aspect of this game. Even though playing with some people can be frustrating, whether it's certain people you know or it's randoms in general that you end up queuing up with, this has been a game that has like kept my core group of friends together for years. All of us became best friends in high school, and ever since, you know, we graduated from high school and we've all gone our separate ways and have to do different things with life and college and jobs, and some of us going into the military, you know, it's an incredible thing to be able to get online and play this one game consistently out of all the games that end up releasing throughout a year, let alone over the course of almost 3 years, and keep coming back to this game. It's absolutely incredible to be able to just come together with my friends and try to make a strategy happen, and picking, you know, based off of each other's weaknesses and strengths in this game, and being able to go at it. To me, it's absolutely incredible. So just seeing this new season of operators that they have for Shifting Tides has been absolutely incredible. I'm really excited for the operators they have. I feel like it kind of reminds me of how Mira truly was, and how, like, what type of effect Mira had on the meta, to where you could look at a room, or you could look at a situation and say, normally this is a dead end, or normally this is a place we always get hit, or normally this is how this certain area or aspect of the game operates, but being able to flip it on its head because of a gadget. That's what I look at when I look at these new operators that they have coming out. I think that the potential that they have for player creativity is absolutely incredible, which is another aspect that I enjoy about more so this community of the people who do play this game, and the things that they come up with of how to use these operators, how to use their gadgets. It's absolutely incredible. But I've been playing Siege for years, and the clips that you've been watching the entire time behind me, they have been from me playing, and these are kind of like compilations. And one thing I always wanted to do was put together this big video compilation of every kind of like highlight moment of my Siege career thus far, in a sense, even though I haven't done anything spectacular. But it's been crazy because on my old PlayStation 4, I had my footage since my very first game of Siege, since the very first party I queued into, and the very first match I queued into, to my very first kill, all that stuff. I had all of that recorded, and I had been keeping track of big moments and highlights and all these clips for years, but I lost all that footage when I got robbed. So part of it is kind of this lesson of, like, you know, if you have that moment of inspiration, don't let it go at all whatsoever. Work on it, and if you have an idea, go for it. That's definitely one thing I've learned about it from my experience with Siege and losing all that footage. But I think the number one thing I take away from playing that game is just the community aspect, and that idea of it takes a team of people to make something happen, and it takes the effort of a lot of people to get stuff done. And I just think there's something so fun and rewarding about that central gameplay loop for Siege that I just will never really get tired of, and I look forward to seeing if they actually do make it to 100 operators like they really had planned. I mean, they're about to be at over 50 now, which is, or if they are right now over 50, who knows? I don't know. I don't keep up with these things. But it's incredible to see how this game's grown, and it's incredible what this game has done for me and my friend group in general. So I'm looking forward to keeping on with playing Siege, and yeah, it's a dope game. It's a pretty dope game. With that being said, guys, if you liked the video, please feel free to go down there, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to become part of the GeekSpeakNation channel, and let me know in the comments, if you do play Rainbow Six Siege, who's your favorite operator? For me, right now, it's kind of a toss-up between Hibana and Nook, or Nock, whichever way you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. I think that operator is absolutely fantastic, and Nook has only been out for a very short amount of time, but it's personally one of my favorite operators that I absolutely adore to play. But let me know what your favorite operator is down in the comment section down below, if you have played Rainbow Six Siege before. And if you haven't, I'm not quite sure why you'd be clicking on this video, but nevertheless, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad for some reason you decided to stick around to the very end of this video. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'm Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.